other thing is I wanted to mention, I'm so excited about the community meeting that was held last night. I wasn't there. I heard it was tremendous with the community of safety they're putting together.
If things were going to be pursued, then they would be the ones that were at the head of that case.
It is very simple.
For me to be here this evening.
It only takes one unstable person to show up
and buffer this situation and get it drawn down until we can get some politicians behind this, some constitutional judges, some constitutional sheriffs, which they do not have.
Sir, I'm with ABC News. Will you mind talking to me for a second about why you're here?
You think I'm afraid of anything? I'm not afraid of anything. What was done was wrong. We invaded a community without permission. You have a commander out here who's not a Harney County resident. We're here to hand this over to the citizens, not the militia.
Community of safety they're putting together, getting ready to take over operations. Remember, we are here to lead, but we're here to pass the baton safely to the citizens of Harney
The
County.
standoff in an Oregon wildlife refuge is now in its 7th day. It's a holdout that includes people from all over the country.
Fox 13's Zach Whitney joins us live in studio with what some of those Utahns hope to add to the situation up there. Zach.
Yeah, you know, some of them are there to support the Bundy family and the Hammonds in their takeover of the wildlife refuge, but others hope to defuse the situation. But both sides say they hope the confrontation comes to a peaceful end.
We spent basically a half-day meeting with the players involved. So in other words, the Bundys.
Utah Attorney Todd McFarland says the situation at the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge is tense. He's part of a group of Utah attorneys hoping to de-escalate it.
And their biggest concern was what they felt like were the distortions and mischaracterization of what was going on up there.
I can't say that, you know, because that's just not it's a very sensitive thing. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Ritzheimer. If you guys don't know who he is, you haven't been following the story, so welcome to this story. John Ritzheimer.
Hey guys, I just want to say Pete is clearly my brother, my Marine brother here. I love him. The other night when things were a little chaotic, you know, it really dawns on you when you're out here and you realize these situations and how crazy they can get. And it gets scary when you catch word that they're coming out that night. Well, the First Amendment is just as powerful as the Second Amendment when it comes to protecting people. He was here, he stayed with us all night long while all of these other media vans rolled out at night because we thought there was a genuine threat that lives could be lost. And we needed the camera to be right there in their face because it can fend them off as well. It makes people think twice before they act. And well, as we all know from Waco or Ruby Ridge, if the camera's not rolling, they really don't care. So thank you to Pete, and keep watching Pete. This is the truth getting out right here through Pete. He's with us through every step of the way. We love him. Make sure you guys donate to keep this guy on the road. He gets out there and he stays with us and he gets the truth out. You guys need to keep this guy on the road. He's all out of pocket. This guy is on his own. So
actually, our listeners, and I want to thank our listeners too, those of you that have donated. This is all listeners. This message is not brought to you by Viagra. Okay, we're not corporate sponsored. We are listener sponsored. Thank you to all of our donors. Don't stop though. Don't stop there. Go to the PeteSantilliShow.com/donate. Our expenses. We were expecting to leave. I was expecting to leave on the 4th, and I don't even know what the date is.
We got to keep the cameras rolling, Pete.
We got to keep them going. We need your help. We need your support. And we need resolution here, a peaceful resolution.
Right.
Although bulldozers are great, we need to get that thing out of there.
We're working on getting that out of there. Hey everybody, love you. We're okay. We're safe. And let's not rush the process here. Let's get some truth out, and let's stop this tyrannical, oppressing force here in our government. And if you swore an oath to protect and defend and uphold the Constitution, you guys should really look at Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17. It's being infringed upon. Where are you at? Roger?
That sounds hard. Okay. Roger that. All right, you guys.
For those of you who are going to see this for the first time, I'm Lewis Arthur, founder of Veterans on Patrol, Program Director. Currently stationed at Bravo Base in Tucson, Arizona. Veterans on Patrol is it's an SSO, like all of our ministries. It's part of our family's ministry, and we're on a statewide search and remember to find every homeless veteran in the state of Arizona. But currently, we have a situation in Burns, Oregon, where a lot of individuals I know personally, and one individual in particular, have found themselves occupying a building on federal property, and they've laid siege to the building. And they're planning on being there for years, apparently. So, what do, right? There's an American warfighter under my personal watch inside that building. And I do have severe concerns that he don't care. He don't care anymore. And I'm afraid the wrong move, the wrong trigger is going to fulfill something that he's mentioned to me in privately. Now, I'm not going to give any details of who he is. Not breaking confidentiality. He's in that building. I know how he can easily get caught up in things. I understand everyone's frustration with what's going on. But now there's a building laid siege, and there's other veterans in that building as well. But him in particular, I am going in there, and I'm going to go get him. We're going to build a crisis response team, a small one. We're going to set up a humanitarian supply line in the event this turns on to a long endured event, because I'm not going to sit and allow anyone to be starved or fed out. And as with anything we do, it's just food, water, and medical equipment. We're going up there. We're not going up to escalate the situation. I'm going up there. I'm going to go into that building. I am going to get him, and I am going to bring him out.
Actions yesterday, and and all that you do to try to report the truth and get the information out to the people and to hold government accountable so that we can live freely. I want to a couple housekeeping items. There has been, several reporters that have wanted to make this issue about me or about my family, and I appreciate that, but this is not about me or my family. It's not about any one individual in this group, and so I ask you to hold your questions on that and focus on the issue at hand, which is the people of Harney County and the Hammonds. There have been a lot of developments that are taking place in uncovering the corruption and the abuses of the people of this county, and that is what we had hoped would happen. Because of the publicity of this stand, we had hoped that people would begin to look deeper, that each of you, as you have done, would begin to look deeper into this case, and you would be able to see that what is happening. I do want to, the best I can, in my words, clarify that this is a jurisdictional issue between the federal and state government, and that the reason why these people in Harney County and ranchers and land users and people across the country are being abused by federal government is because of them coming down into the states and exercising territorial law inside a state.
And I'm bringing him back with me, hopefully, but I'm not going to be able to prevent the government from taking him into custody. So, and I'm not going to, I don't have any plans. He's out, he's alive. We'll take care of everything from then. If the government will not allow me through, I'll be calling upon the militias. If the militias will not allow me through, I'll be calling upon the government. If both try to stop me, and I'm not asking for permission, I'm not going by any rules or stipulations you have. Going in there with my team, getting him, and coming out, period. I'm not going to explain what I'm going to do. I'm not going to answer any questions. We'll talk afterwards. We don't talk. we do it and we do it right. So please, I am asking you, pay attention to what's going on with Burns. Start blowing up the phone. Let them know that Veterans on Patrol is sending a crisis response team, and for everyone to please get out of our way. But special prayers for who we will call a non-patriot. If you happen to see this video, brother, just like Ammon didn't tell anybody, I know you didn't tell anybody that's in there. But you and I know, you know exactly, and I know this isn't the right way, Bubba. I'm coming up there. I'm coming up there to get you, and I'm going to bring you out. You can let everyone know that I'm coming to get you. You can keep it to yourself. I don't care. But I'm coming to get you. I'm bringing you out. You're going home to your family. Can't stop them from taking you into custody, but can put up a hell of a fight if I got to. You know damn well I'll climb an 80-foot light pole and shut down a city for you.
Think I'm afraid of anything? I'm not afraid of anything. What was done was wrong. We invaded a community without permission. You have a commander out here who's not a Harney County resident. We're here to hand this over to the citizens, not the militia. Yeah, just keep bringing it.
This will be up in about 10 minutes, Louis.
Sir, I'm with ABC News. Will you mind talking to me for a second about why you're here?
In regards?
Yeah.
What do you want to know,
why are you
sir?
Here?
Well, you got a warfighter here that wants to commit suicide and have the federal government kill him. And I want to take him home, but he's not going to go. And you have a divided community who needs help, and this isn't the help they need. So we're down here we created a response. We're part of a crisis response team that came from Arizona. We're coming to take our Arizona families out of here because we have problems in our state that need fixed. But we want to make sure before we leave, the community's protected and they can access their land. So our plan is to do it peacefully and hand everything over to them. This is their land. I mean, a lot of us came from Arizona. I just came from Arizona. We shouldn't come up from Arizona and encourage residents or take over their land. That's all we basically did. They came up, they took over their land, they started with an agenda, and everyone in the community was not notified of it. Our job is to notify the community. Our job is to get their blessing. We had the blessing from Harney County residents who contacted Veterans on Patrol asking us if we would come out and see if there's some way we could mediate this crisis. We don't want anyone talking about if the government comes in, we're going to die in a gunfight. That's idiotic. Who wants to die over a building and a piece of property? So we're going to come down here and we're going to do it right. That's about all I can tell you.
About more and more incidences of corruption. We do understand to know that the county representatives, commissioners, have been in collaboration with the federal government, and that the FBI, according to commissioners' own words, did tell the county representatives that they were not to respond to the people's petitions on this matter, and that they were not to respond to the notice of redress of grievance, leaving the people with no way to for redress except for actions like what we have done. And this is a problem, and we must understand that we are a federalist structure of government, And that does not mean that the federal government has all the power and we're all subsidiaries to it. The federalist form of government is a system of government in which each level of government checks and balances each other. That it becomes the duty of the federal government to check and balance the county and the state. It becomes the duty of the state to check and balance the county and the federal government, and it becomes the duty of the county to check and balance the federal government and the state. And in this case, we have incidents where the county understood that there was people that were needing protection, and instead of taking their role as a check and balance against the federal government, they collaborated with them. And we are all better off. We are all more protected as a people if these checks and balances among each level of government exist and exist strongly. There will be more evidences that are to come. We believe that we have...
Sir? Don't let the intel of one individual stop the support of others. I don't like some of the intel I'm getting. But when I really look at it, I have got to support the good people. Now, to all you group leaders out there, none of us like how it went down. None of us agree with how this started. That's beside the point. We don't agree with it, but it is. It's done. Now, what we need to be doing is we need to be beating up this media. We need to be beating up our politicians and everybody else to get everybody to look at the truth here. We got to get to the substance of what's going on. Stuart Rhodes, man, I know you don't agree with it, and I'm not going to beat you up. All right, you have an organization. I have an organization. I do not support how it started. I don't like that at all. But that's our failures as leaders. That's our failures. That we haven't done enough to draw our people together to keep them from doing things like this. And that's what we've been trying to do. We've been trying to create organizations, you know, to get people on the right track doing the right thing. Obviously, we have failed as leaders. We have failed. So, I'm asking you, Stuart Rhodes, and all of the leaders of these groups, I'm asking all of y'all, all right, to start calling these medias, show support for these guys. Put unarmed people up there with American flags. Do not let this go bad. Let's stand between the guys that are at that refuge and the federal agents. There are Americans on both sides. I know y'all want to, you know, I understand y'all mad at the federal government. I understand that you're mad at Obama and all of those guys. I understand that. Them federal agents, though, are Americans also. They have families, and they have a job to do, and they will do their job. And what we need to do as Americans is come together and buffer this situation and draw it down so there's no bloodshed. And Stuart Rhodes, brother, I need your help. I need your help to draw this down. I understand your position. I understand you're trying to protect your organization just like everybody else is. And we don't all have to go down there in that refuge and battle rattle and weapons and everything and stand against those federal. I'm not asking for that. What I'm asking for is you group leaders, we need to come together and we need to buffer this situation. We need to draw it down and get everybody at that round table talking. And let's look at the corruption of the BLM. Let's look what drove this situation. And as leaders, we need to find a way to come together and keep this kind of situation from happening ever again.
You're going to do it right. Who are you?
We
with?
are. Veterans on Patrol.
Is that an organization? Where?
Yes, sir.
What's your name, sir?
Louis Arthur.
Louis, can I get you? I'm going to catch up with you.
Huh?
I just want to see your face, so I say, what's your name? Louis? Louis Arthur?
Louis Arthur.
Can you spell that for me?
Lewisarthur.
And you're with an Arizona group called?
Veterans on Patrol.
How long's that group been around?
We've been operating for about 6 months now, and well, 5.5 months, right? 5 months, 5.5 months.
Yeah, about 5
We build 4 bases across Arizona, and we go out and we find homeless veterans. We shelter them, we get them into housing, we help them break their addictions, And we also do community outreach, so we're community organizers. We go out in the communities, we clean up the parks, we work with the neighbors, we work with our neighbors, we talk to them. Veterans on Patrol is a non-political organization. We don't discuss politics, race, or religion until every homeless veteran in the state of Arizona has received the Battle Buddy check, which means we're not going to fight over politics, religion, or anything until we check on the vets that are sleeping out in these deserts. Well, we're up here in the mountains.
Lewis, as you're thinking this is the wrong fight here.
Huh?
You're thinking this is the wrong fight.
No, this is the right fight. This fight needs to be made. I'm saying the approach was wrong. And the approach was wrong. It's the right fight. This is the people's land. But the thing is, if the people of Harney County want their land, then the people of Harney County should come out and occupy their land. It should not be us from Arizona, people from Colorado, California, Montana, anywhere. This is Oregon. We don't know what's best for Oregon residents. It's like you coming to Arizona and telling me what's best for my city. You don't know. You don't live there. These guys don't know, and they can't lay their egos aside. You know, it's mainly egos and agenda. If you really want to help the community, the first thing you would do is you would de-escalate the situation. You get here in case something did happen, because women and children didn't stop Waco or Ruby Ridge. And we shouldn't use women and children as shields, even if they want to be here. If there's a potential for the federal government to come in here, and there's guys here saying that they're going to fight back and it's going to be a firepower, why are we still allowing women and children out here? We want to come in, get the women and children out. We want to come in, get the women and children out. Well, our goal is for the citizens of Harney County, the residents. They occupy this land. This is their land. There should be a Harney County commander out here right now. Someone from Harney County in the community should be commanding this operation they have set up.
Our Tim Becker spoke to residents at tonight's town hall meeting.
This room is empty now, but earlier tonight it was filled not only with concerned people who live here in Harney County, but also with a little bit of catharsis and a whole lot of emotion.
I'm proud to be a rancher, and I'm not going to let some other people be my face. I am me.
Few sent a stronger message here than Georgia Marshall. Most, though,
What Bundy did and what they're doing down there isn't right.
we're fired up and filled with passion about the militia's takeover of the Malheur Wildlife Refuge and how it's meddling with everyone's day-to-day lives here.
I want them to know that they didn't have to fear what their mind was conjuring up.
I think it's time that we get together and we work through some issues and we mend some fences.
Sheriff David Ward called the meeting to ease fears and answer questions that people began asking when ranchers Dwight Hammond and his son Stephen were sent back to federal prison on charges of arson on federal land. It's what led to the standoff and anti-government sentiment, but most people at tonight's meeting do believe the arrests were unfair.
The main issue is, we got to get the Hammonds out of prison, and there's only one person can do that, and he better do it before he gets out of the office.
We feel like we need to make sure that the Hammonds are out of prison.
Militia leader Ammon Bundy says that's their priority also, but both people tonight and members of the Paiute tribe earlier today tell us they disagree with how they're going about it.
We don't need them here. We didn't ask for support. Harney County people can stand up on their own 2 feet. We know what our rights are.
You guys stand up with me and I'll be the first one to tell them to go. I'll stand with you, Rodney. Okay.
Now we wait and we watch. Will Ammon Bundy and the other militia listen to what was said here tonight? Will they take action? We'll continue to follow this story and update you tomorrow. In Burns, Tim Becker, KOIN 6 News.
You don't have that. You have outsiders coming in and commanding this, and that's not the way to do it. We're invading. We don't invade our neighbors. We help them. So I'm frustrated with the way everything was going and then everything we're hearing on the way up here. So we're hoping we can get some of the radicals out that want a war, because none of us want a war. You want a war? You want
There's nothing to change.
Now, I hear a lot of criticism on Mark McConnell. I'm going to tell you what, Mark McConnell went up there to get a young lady out of there and her baby. When I was en route back up there to Burns, I got a text to pick up another female. We picked those females up and we returned them to their home. Now, I personally did not go back after that. I stayed the hell away from it because I did disagree with the things that was going on. The security was extremely relaxed. Nobody was telling young men that didn't have a clue of what they're doing. No formal training. Nobody was explaining to them what to do, how to do. It was very relaxed. Ryan Payne kept calling Mark McConnell to come back up there. He needed his help. He needed his counsel. He needed his experience. Mark McConnell called me, man, I got to go back up. And there's other reasons Mark went up, but that's between him and Ryan Payne. Now, what's amazing to me, all of y'all talk about the good man Amon Bundy is, and he is. Amon Bundy is a good man, Ryan is, and so is LaVoy. And if they entrusted Mark to come up there and be his personal security, then how all of a sudden can y'all come out and start actually giving Mark death threats? Are you serious? Come on. The same men you support wholeheartedly, you basically call their judgment into question because y'all are attacking a man they trusted to be their personal bodyguard. So you need to think about that.
Amon Bundy admits defeat, calls on remaining Oregon occupiers to stand down and go home. And sure enough, the so-called militia guys that were his security haven't been arrested, got let go, and were the folks that would run up to us and say, get out of here, you say the Bundys are feds. We would go, Joe Biggs would go, we didn't say you were feds. We said, watch out for federal infiltrators. They always do it. And they'll come in and tell everybody that Alex says that they're feds, so they don't talk to us, so we can't try to protect them. And they were successful. They did that. They speak to ego. The feds show up and go, sir, I'm here to protect you. You are the new George Washington. I'm going to be your right-hand man.
LaVoy, this is Todd Engel. I was one of the guys at the meeting yesterday with Ammon and Buddha. I stressed to them, I'm sure you know, how important it is for you guys to not be arrested and to continue this fight in another location. You guys are too valuable to all the ranchers in the whole entire western half of the country for us to lose you guys as basically the George Pattons of the resistance here.
Don't put us there. We're just rednecks.
Oh, I know, but you're no longer just a redneck. You are. You've stepped out and taken the lead. And if we lose you guys to prison, it is a big hit for the farmers, and I think it's going to really set them back in fear if you guys are all locked up. But if you guys can live to fight another day and move over to a friendly sheriff's county, can live to fight another day and move over to a friendly sheriff's county and continue the fight against BLM and EPA at the same time, at that point, let me just say something, LaVoy. At that point, if you guys were to do that, I'm pretty sure I could round up some pretty seriously armed dudes to come and hang out with you guys.
And then it comes out that they're informants or they're connected to the government or they've been threatened to do it. And I'm not saying who's who or who's what or naming names. I'm just saying a couple folks got the word that day and disappeared. Other people got picked up and then released. And I mean, look, at infiltrations, they'll do fake arrest. They'll do fake indictments. They've even done fake executions before and released people. That's been admitted. So folks that don't know what the government, especially the U.S. government, does to infiltrate, quote, organized crime, or paramilitary groups or narcotics groups, you just don't ever read the newspaper then. And the weird thing is they'll use the same operatives over and over again burning people, and they've got a playbook where they go up and speak to the ego of the people that mean well, and then get full control of them, and then say, I'm now in charge of all media, going through this group, and then it's over. It's over. You are controlled from the beginning. And I've seen them do it with all these Muslim groups and radical leftist groups too, where they'll get in, take them over, and then lead them into crimes, or lead them right into ambushes. And I've never seen anything like it. And as soon as the people are all locked up and going to prison, I get letters going, I'm sorry, you were right. I wish I would have listened. I'm really sad for you. The feds are going to have major meetings on this. They're going to have all their hidden footage. They're going to teach classes on it to send out whole groups of people on how to do this over and over again. This is a big victory for the globalist. And it's very, very sad.
And they have been very supportive. And if anything, I like everybody to give these guys a round of applause.
There's an American warfighter under my personal watch inside that.
Telling the truth. We were assaulted last night. We went in unarmed. They tried to prevent us. I got punched in the back of the head by Blaine Cooper, and then two other guys came at me, and they had one of the guys had his hand on his gun standing back. We're unarmed. I go towards those guys. Blaine sucker punches
Up on
me
post
again.
was a man who is a Vietnam veteran who lives in Shiloh, Arizona, who goes by the name Wolf, and he's an honorable Marine, former Marine. And as soon as Louis Arthur came up, and the man was like, whoa, who are you?
We were going, when I came back, they told me Ammon was here, and I said, well, let's go over and check on our friend. We won't say her name.
I want to remind everybody, you need to be very prayerful, okay, for the safety, for the lives of the men, women, and child out there at the refuge.
Now, I hear a lot of criticism on Mark McConnell. I'm going to tell you what, Mark McConnell went up there to get a young lady out of there and her baby.
Come on. There we go. We are on. Bam. And the best way to get this started, don't tread on me. John Ritzheimer, 2 quick comments real quick.
John Ritzheimer here. Hey, you guys want the truth? Stay tuned in to Pete's show. This is the hands down the best and most accurate information that's going to get out there to you guys. So you want to be in the know, keep sticking on Pete's show, all right?
Boom. Thank you, John
That's a good
Ritzheimer.
little title. You want to be in the know? Stick to Pete's show.
Yeah, that's great, dude.
You're welcome.
Not guilty of a crime. There was no crime committed. There was no crime.
Here comes Ryan. Mr. Finicum, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good to see you. You're all blessed well.
Hey, Ryan.
Great. This chilly, beautiful morning. To begin with, I need to take care of some personal business that I'm asking some help with. As you know, some of you know, that I have a very large family. My daughters, which are 8, did not know I was going to be here. I did not know I was going to be here. They want to come and see their father, and I would sorely love to see my daughters, so they are en route. All I am asking is that federal agents intended to be a peaceful. The citizens of this state are starting to show up, as you have seen yourself this very morning. And we want you to know the only reason that we have guns here is for our own personal protection and safety. We should never ever point guns at each other. So let's make sure that that is the understood thing. No pointing guns at each other. And tomorrow we'll be releasing what we have done, the things that have happened, the things that we are going to do. Things are really, there is a lot that is happening, things that you need to know, and tomorrow we will give that to you. And I really appreciate you being here, and we will talk to you tomorrow. My daughters are bringing it.
The Bundys have been staying in this building since the occupation started. It's guarded by an armed militia member 24 hours a day. We spent hours requesting an interview with leader Ammon Bundy, a look inside the building, anything. Then, late in the day, one of his bodyguards came out and told us to hurry to our cars and be ready for a big development.
Later on that day, Ryan Payne came to me and Mark, and can you take us up to see the sheriff? Yeah. So we drove Ryan Payne and Ammon Bundy up to meet with the sheriff, and that's when he told the sheriff that he wouldn't be leaving and that the redress of grievances needed to be addressed. We were returned to the refuge. During that drive back to the refuge, I told Ryan, I said, Ryan, this is over, man. This is over. I said, you won because the state representative already came out and thanked you for drawing attention to this, but this was over. And it was just a matter of time before they was going to turn the media on you, and they're going to spin this around and make you the bad guy. You need to lay down the weapons. We argued the whole time from the time we left that meet with that sheriff all the way back to that refuge. They refused to lay down those weapons. All I could hear from them is, if we have to, we'll die for our Constitution. We'll die for our Constitution. That's all I kept hearing from these guys. We'll die for our Constitution.
We're following a convoy made up of militia members led by Ammon Bundy, the leader of the militias at the refuge, and they're on the way to meet with the sheriff of Harney County. This is the first time Ammon and the sheriff have met, and they're going to be discussing the situation at the refuge. We've been driving a good 15-20 minutes now away from the refuge, and it's kind of a bit dramatic meeting the sheriff on the edge of town. They met on the side of the road, each with armed protection beside them and in nearby cars.
Matter. I just want to come out and offer you guys the opportunity to help you get out and get home and resolve this thing peacefully. That's I'm willing to get you an escort all the way out of the state.
Yeah, we're here for the people of Harney County. We're here because the people were ignored. They're bringing up legitimate concerns, and yet, Sheriff, you would not address those concerns.
I'm here because the citizens of Harney County have asked me to come out and ask you folks to peacefully leave.
We pose no threat to the community whatsoever at all. It's time to get the schools open, let your community get back to living. We do not pose a threat.
That's what I'm asking for.
But that can be done without us leaving.
Well, it only takes one unstable person to show up, and we know that. It only takes one unstable person to show up.
You have a commander out here who's not a Harney County resident. We're here to hand this over to the citizens, not the militia.
That's what I'm getting at. I'm not calling you unstable.
But that can happen in any community, in any area. That could happen even if we left.
I'm here to offer safe escort out. Go back, kick it around with your folks, and I'll give you a call tomorrow and ask you what you decided.
I do.
Thanks for coming out.
Thank you. Will you consider the convoy a safe escort out of the state?
I'm not afraid to go out of the state. I don't need an escort. Thank you.
And I'm not going to put him on camera. He was at Wake On. Hey.
What's up?
Semper Fi, brother.
I'm not a Marine.
Huh? Yeah, you are.
Okay. The spirit of one, maybe?
By injection.
By injection.
You're a Marine by injection.
My dad was a Marine, though.
Was he? Well, there you go.
Your dad was?
Well, that makes you...
He abused me real bad, too.
He did?
Both of my dads did.
Oh, wow.
So I turned out all right in the end, I guess.
Yeah, he sure did.
Dude, disinformation campaign on Facebook.
Oh, it's crazy, yeah. No, that's why this, hey, it's like John Ritzheimer is bad. I'm like, okay, so what if he is? He's been at the front gate for 3 days.
Somebody just did a video saying that I was...
Yes, Wayne Goober. And I'm like...
It's like, I'm not smart enough.
Hey, and then Pete Santilli is an FBI informant. I'm like, and I'm out in the front parking lot talking to my listeners. Who cares? I'm not even on the freaking inside. I know nothing. I just say, well, what's the message we're communicating here today? That's it. Right?
That's right.
Who cares?
I think even the feds are tired of the feds.
I know.
Let's talk
God,
about
everybody
that.
just shut your K call.
So let's talk about that.
I bet you there is a lot of feds.
I'm sorry to be so loud and obnoxious.
Who are just sick of the...
I'm live streaming.
Yeah.
But they don't speak out because it's a paycheck.
Who are you guys with?
Yeah, let's talk about...
Channel 2?
Let's talk
what
about...
brings you right here?
All of this stuff that's going on around the internet. And we're talking about people who usually support us.
I guess it wasn't here.
We're out there...
Yes! Yes!
What?
Yes! Look at that! Hey, dude, seriously, hold on a second. Let me get this, ladies and gentlemen. This just came off the wire right here.
This is on.
Look at that.
This picture's on Twitter.
Look at that. Can you share that with? It's on Twitter?
Yeah, it's been shared all over the place.
That is what I'm talking about right there, dude. That is a great freaking day in the United States of America. Look at that picture. That's what I'm talking about. Sheriff Ward, okay? Sheriff Ward. Bam! Now I'm going to shut up.
No, not yet.
No, now I'm going to shut up until I find out what the next steps are, okay?
There you go.
That needed to happen.
So we wanted to talk about what, I don't know if I want to go on there.
Why?
No,
but when I
my
say
nose
shut
is
up,
all running and
I've been calling and ranting and screaming about that, okay?
Right.
That's the first step. Come up. That's it. Put your feet in the dirt. Shake hands, okay? How the negotiation goes thereafter, he is the top law enforcement official in the county, period. Tell the people that, okay? Tell the people that. That wasn't being told in that meeting yesterday. It's been told here on the stream. He knows this. He knows what his power is, and he could be one of America's greatest sheriffs if he learns his way through this. I'm not saying that he's going to kick anybody out or he's going to arrest anybody, but he could be a great American.
All right, cool.
Whatever you want to ask.
3, 2, 1. All right, we're here with Pete Santilli. Pete, you've been following the story for a number of months now. Could you talk about your relationship with the Hammonds and what you discovered?
Yeah, the Hammonds, as well, of course, since April of 2014, being that I was at Bundy Ranch, at the Bundy Ranch incident.
Right.
Actually, now it's the freest area in the country. This is now the second free area in the country. But I got involved with learning about the Hammond family. It's a ranching issue. I say a ranching issue, land issue. The Hammond family basically ticked off the wrong people, and the system came down upon them, and they were declared terrorists wrongfully. That's the bottom line. This is what I've been studying about the Hammonds for the past 2 months. Ammon Bundy brought me this information and said we need to bring public awareness to it. We need to submit and take certain steps to address the federal government, to address the local sheriffs, and to bring justice, bring really full disclosure of the anomalies surrounding the Hammond people.
Right. Now, what do you make of the mainstream coverage of this event? Because if you turn on CNN or MSNBC, they're making these people out to be anti-government extremists and terrorists and white supremacists even. I mean, they throw that in there.
Right.
What does that have to do with anything?
Well,
so what do you make of the coverage?
Here's this, which is exactly the reason why I'm here. Let me tell you the truth.
The reason why we're here as well.
I don't myself. I have no idea what the racial makeup is. And I'm probably one of the closest people to the Bundy family because I was with them way back when. As far as the media is concerned, I'm the closest person on this side. Okay. And I don't even know what the racial makeup is of the people that are on that side. How CBS got that, I have no. CBS actually put out there that they're a bunch of white supremacists. Right. I asked the CBS cameraman. I asked him. I said, how many white people did you see in there? He said like 3. And I said, so they're all white supremacists in there? They were calling color, and they haven't even seen everyone that's in there. So it's erroneous. It's to cause racial division, whereas I'm calling for racial unity. I called out MSNBC the other day. They were out there at the peak of the anxiety when we thought that there was going to be an incursion here, that there was going to be a raid on the compound. At the peak of the anxiety, MSNBC said, well, your father's made some racially insensitive comments. What do you think about black people? And they asked Ammon Bundy that, and they ambushed him. I got on that MSNBC reporter, and I said, can you imagine framing that question in that capacity right at the,
It's almost as if they're looking for, a way to provoke people and to provoke some sort of violent incident or something.
No, what they're trying to do is to divide us because, I'll tell you what, I mean, I've been to Baltimore. Whether or not you like them burning down buildings and stuff like that, I've heard them saying it's a great political tool, it gets them on TV, and they're pissed off, excuse my French, about their issues. But they're fighting for their civil rights and their God-given rights and constitutional rights. I know this. The people that are grassroots, quote-unquote, Black Lives Matter, in the hood in Baltimore, are fighting for their constitutional rights. Same things here in the ranch area, predominantly white, fighting for the same thing. Why don't we come together and say, you know what? I told them, I said, there's going to come a day where you may want to join up with the ranchers, okay? Right. Don't let them racially divide us. That's what they're doing. They're going to keep us separated. Divide and then conquer, of course.
Okay, very good. All right. Thanks, Pete.
Hey, thank you.
All right.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you too.
Right now. Yeah. Streaming right to, and we got people all over the area here, especially people that can't get out here. They're at home in Burns, or they're afraid to show their face, because they're going to receive a retaliation against them.
What's been the local response? Because a lot of people.
Thank you so much, dude.
I
really appreciate it.
Excuse me. A lot of the mainstream.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Huh?
A lot of the mainstream coverage, they've been saying that the locals are very much against this, and there's just a big article about some Indian leader that was against it. I'm just curious. What do you? So you've been here for 2 days.
Huh?
What's that?
Well, here's the thing. You can find people in opposition.
Right.
But you're not going to see the people that are in support of it, and there's quite a few of them.
Yeah.
Overwhelming support for it, but they can't come out on camera.
Right.
They can't because of retaliation.
It seems to me that a lot of people are, at least because I actually called some of the county people before we drove up here. We drove up here from San Diego, so it was quite a far drive.
Did you really?
Yeah.
San Diego, wow.
Yeah, it was a long drive, and I didn't want to get here and not be able to do anything, not be able to talk to anybody. So I talked to a couple people that work for the county. And they were basically saying that, people sort of sympathized with what the Hammonds have gone through, but they didn't appreciate the way things went down with the occupation, which I guess I understand, but...
You know what? I've already been outspoken about it myself. I was even offered that opportunity because I was told, we're going to go down to the refuge. And I'm like, what's that? Because we were at the Hammond's house.
Right.
I'm like, what's the refuge thing? We were down at the Safeway when I was told about this. refuge, and I didn't understand it. And then somebody told me when I was 30 feet away from the Hammond house, when my security detail was called off, they're like, dude, if you go down there, you know, they're going to take over a federal building. You're going to be shot or arrested. And I'm like, first of all, I don't do buildings.
Yeah.
Not just no, but heck no.
Yeah.
And I opted not to do it. So sure, most people are going to be against doing things like that, including myself. But guess what? Look at how much attention it brought to these issues.
Oh yeah.
The dialogue is it's humongous. It's a huge international story. Well, so there's benefits there, but here's where I say there's a benefit. Thankfully, it's these people doing that because they're not going to be shooting people. There's nobody's going to be harmed. You feel unsafe right now?
I know. I feel totally safe. Yeah. And really, since we got here, it's been very calm and relaxed. And see, that's the thing. That's a big reason why I wanted to come, is to debunk some of these lies about how there's all these government infiltrators. We just interviewed John Ritzheimer. Ritzheimer, yeah. Right. You go online, and the Oath Keepers and some of these other websites, they're calling this guy like an infiltrator.
Well, guess what? Guess what he's infiltrating? You want me to tell you what he's doing? Like me. I'm quote unquote an FBI informant. Guess what I've been doing? I didn't go inside. I'm on the outside, I'm streaming, and I'm concerned about communicating the truth to my listeners, right?
Right.
Who cares if I'm a freaking FBI informant? You know, I'm not on the inside, I don't have OPSEC, you know, operational security information. I'm out here.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Who cares?
Yeah, well.
John Ritzheimer, guess what he's doing? He's been guarding the front gate for days.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, all these reports on the internet about special ops coming in here. You know, it's just there's so much nonsense. And,
it sounds like
yeah,
Oath Keeper crap.
So I mean, since I've been here, everybody's been very helpful and polite. So some good old American patriots.
Yeah, man. Make sure you got plenty of battery power.
What's going down?
We're meeting with the sheriff right now.
He's coming here?
Check out.
Okay.
I see. It is. Be careful, don't break your neck.
Yeah, no kidding. Do you mind stopping just for a minute and talking, or
let's go ahead and you know what? Going up there to meet somebody, you might not want to miss what's happening up there.
Okay, here. You want to go ahead and record?
I can record and walk if you want, or
okay.
we can.
Are you recording right now?
I got you on camera right now.
Okay, so we're with Lavoie. Lavoie, I'm sorry, what's your last name?
Finicum.
Okay, very good. You've been here since day one. You've been very involved with the Bundys.
Yes.
Could you just briefly outline your relationship with the Bundys and the Hammonds?
We're neighboring ranchers across the border from Arizona and Nevada.
Okay.
And I'm a rancher in Arizona, he's a rancher in Nevada.
Okay, very good.
And we're friends.
Okay. Now, what are some of the main issues that ranchers like the Hammonds and the Bundys, what are some of the issues they've been dealing with regards to the federal government and the BLM?
Well, the reason we're actually here in Harney County, the reason I'm here, was because of what they're doing, they just did to the Hammond family here in Burns, Oregon.
It's outrageous.
Outrageous. So I drove up here to put some flowers and give my condolence, and next thing I knew, I ended up here.
Right, absolutely. Now, it seems to me as if the BLM and other agencies of the federal government dealing with ranchers and landowners, it's almost as if they really operate as a mafia. And they try to...
let me explain how this works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They say that they own and control 1/3 of the landmass of America. All right?
Right.
Okay. Now, the reason that's so bad is because they claim, they took the Supreme Court and say, we have exclusive legislative power whatsoever over this land. That means this in real terms. A man behind a desk can just write a statute regarding my range and my cows that has a force and effect of law. If I don't abide by it, and I don't elect him, he's not accountable to me.
Right.
And if I don't abide by it, there's a ranger with a gun that can enforce it. And if I don't comply, then I can get hauled into, and I don't elect the man with the gun, he's not accountable to me, anybody in my state, anybody in my county. Neither the bureaucrat or the ranger with the gun. Now, next you have go to a federal court if you the ranger takes you in. So all three branches of power, the legislative, executive, and judicial, combined under one head with no representation. And so that's what we fought for, or fought against in the beginning, was it not? Taxation without representation.
Absolutely.
So here we are again, with 1/3 of the land now.
Now, what do you make of the criticism that's been leveled against you guys? Because the Hammonds did surrender to the feds, and it seems as if they were intimidated and sort of coerced.
Most definitely.
Now, what do you make of criticism saying, you know, people, the mainstream reports are saying that you guys have no business doing this, these people surrendered. Is this bigger than the Hammonds?
It affects me in Arizona, my ranch. It affects all my neighboring ranches that we met with, that asked me to come meet with them in Utah. It affects the ranchers in Idaho. It affects the ranchers in Nevada.
This is going all across the country. Going all across the country.
Yeah. This is the only step forward at this current time. All these other ranchers have had it. We're done. We're through. Look at that.
Go ahead and give it. Go get it. Go get it.
Well, I'm hoping it's kind of like the new action hero. You know, like Ant-Man, Cartman, Superman. Yeah.
Okay, everybody.
Yeah.
Keep going, keep going.
They knew who I was. They're like, hi, Deb. They brought supplies out.
Now, Lavoy, I'm curious, what do you make of mainstream reports that are calling you guys militia, anti-government extremists,
How about
terrorists, white supremacists even?
Let's go with the word terror.
Okay, yeah.
Terror, that's a strong word. We actually got a war on terror, don't we?
Right.
So let's consider exactly who is the terrorist right now at this time. Who was terrorized and threatened, coerced, thrown in jail once, and then once again years later for the very same thing? Was it not the Hammond family?
Right.
Were they not terrorized? Were they not put under duress? Did they not lose their property? Now have they not lost their liberty? So let's get real.
Right.
Who's the terrorist?
Exactly.
You know, we're not pointing guns at anybody. Nobody should point guns at anybody. But who threw who in prison? Who has lost their liberty? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's get things real.
Exactly. Now, what is the ultimate goal with what you guys are doing out here?
Oh, we're here as ranching families to come and help other ranching families. That's what it is.
Plain and simple?
Yeah, to help them to reclaim Harney County and to reclaim their resources. I hope you realize Harney County used to be the wealthiest county in Oregon until the federal government seized all the resources.
I understand that.
Now that it's the poor, so we're here to, you know, you have to ask the state to write it. If the state doesn't write it, you have to ask the county to write it. And finally, if there's no more recourse, the citizens themselves must stand up and write it.
Very good. All right, well, thank you, sir. We're coming up here on, it looks like a press conference.
Oh, it does. It does. It looks like it's...
Check out thereallistreport.com, guys. Thanks for watching.
That stuff that's going on out there on the internet. Just for a second.
On the internet.
Oh, don't.
Don't? Why?
Because I look terrible.
Well, look at me. I got boogers on my nose. No, I'm just kidding.
But,
I'm just kidding, you guys.
Yeah.
I don't.
So...
Oh, I do.
And what is it about, you know, the people who listen to our show, the people that support us usually, you know, they just feel the need to just propagate rumor and what makes them eat themselves alive? You know.
Okay.
Like,
all of you internet trolls that have intel, you know, I want you to just take your heads and just put them between your knees and just knock yourself in the ears. Okay.
Believe me, there's nobody here on the ground who's worried about who's a Fed and who isn't a Fed. It's total.
Yes, stop it.
It's totally ridiculous.
Stop it. Stop it.
Oh
Stop it.
my God, it's so insane. You know what? Sometimes it's almost embarrassing. Everybody needs to chill out.
Well, they need to get out here.
Yeah, if you really want to know what's happening, get out here. You know, you're stuck there on your computers and
you know what? Actually, if John Ritzheimer is a Fed, I love Feds. I do. I don't think he's a Fed because I love him. I love John Ritzheimer. I love freaking Blaine Cooper.
Yeah.
Blaine Cooper was taking care of business last night, wasn't he?
Oh yeah.
I love Blaine Cooper.
He took care of some business, all right.
Hey, did you see who else left?
Yes.
The crackheads.
How about a fight? Huh?
The crackheads.
Who made that happen?
You probably.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys know that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I know what was said. It wouldn't. He has a video of you threatening him. It's going to be Pete Santilli is a bully and he threatened me.
I didn't threaten him. Is that what he has? A video?
No, I said that's probably what he'll say.
No, I said if you screw this up, I'm gonna freaking drive your petunias into the spamonis. What? Petunias into the spamonis. Hey, by the way, you know what I want to remind? Remember what we were talking about with the Chinese? I want to remind our listening audience. In China, they used to have meetings like they did last night. And they bring everybody in and say, "Come in, voice your opinion." What's up?
Hey, see the tent's gone.
Huh?
See the tent's gone over there.
Yes, sir.
Somebody had a talk with him.
Yeah. What?
That's funny.
It is.
They're out here representing the vets on their tent.
Oh, okay. Ain't representing me. I can tell you that much.
You sure hope not, right?
No.
You know what?
I don't need that.
You know what? I am suffering from PTSD just from interacting with Louis Arthur. Okay? I need to take psychotropic drugs just to recover from dealing with that freaking lunatic. Okay? This is the second time Bundy Ranch, you know what he did? He did the little soap.
I heard he brought the cops in and said people stole his gear.
When? Here?
No, Bundy Ranch.
Oh, no, dude. The one thing he did, we were like, he was out in the parking lot, the media parking lot. He was taking baking soda and putting it around, and then the media was recording it, and they were saying that it was explosives, and he was going to set their cars on fire, and it was on the news. And this is
Was that here or
at Bundy Ranch?
Oh, Bundy.
At Bundy Ranch, and then he comes here last night, and he's coming into doing an extraction of. I don't know. I think he wanted.
Oh yeah, somebody was. He was going to save somebody, is what I heard.
How are you?
Hi.
Nobody here needs to be saved.
What's your bias?
Pete Santilli. I don't know.
I am.
I wrote a story about
Pleasure to meet you.
about Marine that ran. I don't know if you saw it.
Maureen Peltier?
Yeah. Oh, we did a profile of her.
Oh, you did. Fantastic. Good. Yes.
We heard it was a good story.
Let's take care. All right, we'll be.
Just stay with it.
Yeah, go. Let's keep going with it. You know what?
Yeah. Well, Bundy's talking right now.
Yes, you guys.
He gave us some things to think about, and we're going to think about those.
What was your response?
And we'll let you know.
Was the offer that you could leave the county without being arrested or something to that effect?
We're going to think about it, and then we'll get back to you guys.
Here, what do you say to all the people who raised their hands last night and said that they don't want you to be here?
Well, as you know, there was a lot that said we do, and we have had non-stop people since Sunday flowing through our doors, wanting and giving us stories about exactly what we suspected and saw. And so I think that there's something much bigger here that needs to be resolved. And until we know and can understand that the people are going to end up on top here, we plan on staying. And that's
intimidated.
Did you hear that?
A lot of people feel intimidated here. The ranchers especially, they won't talk to you.
I voted that. How did you respond?
I talked to a lady last night, and she says, we got cattle on a refuge we can't talk about.
Did he address any of your concerns about the Hammonds and about the land issues?
No, and that's what we were asking him to do, to address that notice redress of grievance or the items on there, and he has yet to give us any indication that he was going to act in any faith. So we're here for the people, and what needs to happen here is that these lands that are unconstitutionally being held, they need to be returned back to the people, and they need to have control of them. They need to be able to be free on them. They need to be able to use them without intimidation and without fear. And until we can see that that can be accomplished, it doesn't have to fully be accomplished, but until we can see that there is great momentum and people can get doing that themselves, then we will remain. And until then, and who knows, that could be a week, that could be a year. And that is pretty much what we're committed to here at this time.
Eamon, how do you respond to critics that claim this is a terrorist organization or a violent extremist, gathering here? How do you respond to that?
I say look around.
Right, absolutely.
Look around.
Yes, sir.
The governor is now asking you to decamp. What do you say to the governor? Excuse me?
Which specific people?
The people of Harney County.
They said last night in the town hall meeting that they would take care of that and that you can go. What do you have to say to that?
I believe them, but it's going to take a little time and there needs to be a little directive, and I believe that that is certainly going to happen.
Do you plan to be the directive for them?
Support you, but don't support your tactics and want you to leave. There are a lot of people that need to be said that. How do you respond to that?
I respond that when we exhausted all our prudent methods to petition the elected representatives and they ignore the people 100%, they do not respond in any way. In fact, Steve Grasty, Judge Steve Grasty said that everybody who signed that notice redress of grievance was crazy, a bunch of crazies. And so that's how they're viewing their people. That's how they view those that look at the Hammond situation as egregious, as something really wrong. But I do not believe the American people are crazy. I believe that they are concerned and that they have a right to their land and resources. Thank you very much.
Veterans for Trump is in with you.
Has this changed your timetable at all?
Well, I do say that Trump certainly does understand.
Trump understands.
That's up to him, not me.
Hey, be careful, bros.
We get back to the refuge, a couple hours go by. I'm sick. I am sick of looking at this shit. I got young men out there that don't know what they're doing. I've got veterans that are in there that aren't telling them what they should be doing. I am pissed off. I'm ready to get the hell out of there and get away from these people. I'm mad. All of a sudden a meeting was called. So we walk into that damn cafeteria area they had and we had a meeting. The question was proposed to everybody in that room: do you want to lay down your weapons and go in and peacefully protest, or do you want to stand your ground out there at the refuge? Everybody in the room said aye, to lay down the weapons and go in and peacefully protest in Burns. Everybody. Everybody said aye except for one idiot, which they kicked out later anyway.